Today on I Am Casa, we're gonna answer to 10 questions that have been asked multiple times and that you care about. So fasten your seatbelt and get ready for a Q&A in a more in-depth way with I Am Casa. First question is about Baltic, a brand I care about, a brand I like, and we have a friend and fellow watch enthusiast from I Am Casa asking me about the new Hermetique summer editions, all very colorful. So, first and foremost, Baltic is working really well with the Hermetique line. They are doing a great job. The watch itself is very interesting as it is water resistant up to 100 meters, as much as it doesn't have a screw down crown, which is actually interesting. It's not the easiest to set the time of the watch, I have to be honest. I have mine, which is the cream dial version. I actually love it on its rubber strap, which is kind of a tropic. And I have to say the watch is interesting. It's perfectly sized. It has a beautiful dial, lovely syringe hands, and the overall aesthetic is flawless. While if we're talking about the Hermetique Summer, is a totally different vibe. So if you have seen my podcast, as long as I know it's in Italian and maybe you're not, but we've discussed that. So the fact that watches should not be seasonal. Is it all true? Well, I have to say when it comes to watches that, as per Baltic, are below 1,000 euros, I get the fact to make it seasonal, because maybe you bought Hermetique or maybe you're just a fan of Baltic and you want to have another watch that is intended for summer. What happens here? We have 4 different colors: yellow, orange, pink, and a very interesting, almost Tiffany blue. I love the yellow. Yellow seems to be the color of this year's summer because we've seen Zenith, we've seen many brands doing yellow, we've seen Tudor, but what's special here is that we have a 37 millimeter watch, so great size, steel case. As I said, even more, 150 meters of water resistance, and again, with the strap, like the rubber strap, the Tropic, let's say, it is priced at 710 euros. Almost unbeatable. It's a very cool watch, and you know that it goes to 750 with the beads of rice, which is a super cool one, or still 750 with your basic and beautiful flat link bracelet. So Baltic did a great job in my opinion. I love every color. Maybe the orange is my favorite as much as I love pink, so I'm very biased, and I love yellow, so again very biased. I gotta say the yellow one is indeed the most carry-related. So brava Baltic, I'm expecting more from you from the next months, but very good job. I'm not expecting more from you because I didn't like this, but just because maybe I know something you don't. Let's go with the second question, the most asked so far on the profile, like everyone wants to know this. So I'm coming to Milan. Hey Andrea, I know you're from Milan. Amazing. I'm gonna send you a lot of suggestions, and I'm gonna have a guide published soon about my beautiful city, maybe more than one guide. But what's lacking in my guide, and what's lacking in my indications, and what's lacking in Milan is a good flea market. So the best flea market in Milan for watches, hear me out, is indeed Mercatone dell'Antiquariato dei Navigli. In Navigli, the area, the neighborhood of Milan featuring water. So Navigli, our beautiful river, it's a naviglio, it's not a river, still. It's a curse of water, it's a water flowing, it's very nice, you can have a beautiful lunch, whatever. The problem is, the flea market only happens the last Sunday of the month if we're not talking about Easter or the Almighty Christmas. So usually last Sunday of the month. If you Google Mercatone dell'Antiquariato dei Navigli, you will bump on their website where you have all the dates, so you cannot miss it. The best is to go there in the morning. In the morning you might actually find some watches. I did find some good stuff. It's harder and harder the more time passes because, well, people know that internet exists, incredibly, and they sell watches online and they make more money than selling on the Navigli. But It's a very cool place to spend time at, to discover new things, to buy furniture, maybe to buy vintage clothes. Sometimes there's a very, very, very nice shop next to the flea market selling used vintage clothes that are amazing. Military stuff, amazing one. A full video about Navigli is gonna be out very soon on my channel, so check it out. You're gonna discover some things. Plus, you can have the market in Brera. Let me Google very quick. Mercatino di Brera is the name. The Mercatino di Brera is every third Sunday of the month. And if I remember correctly, it was also like every Tuesday, but I'm actually wrong. It's just the third Sunday, and there is also a lot of dates online where you can find it. And also the first, second, third, and fourth Tuesday. I was right. So that's about the flea market in Brera. Is way more about vintage jewelry, way more about like vintage ties and stuff like this. You have to know the neighborhood. Brera is a bit radical chic neighborhood. They love to dress vintage and to play the part of, yeah, I have money, but I want to be sustainable and stuff. So great flea market. I bought some things there, not many, definitely not many watches. The rest is in a circuit called Pulci e non solo. It's a series of flea markets in the province of Milan, in the outer part of town, meaning maximum 30 minutes from the center, meaning it's very, like, there's a lot of variety. They also have non-professional dealers, which to me is the best, but it's also the most chaos whatsoever. So be careful with that, not because they're pickpockets or anything, but because there's a huge chance you're gonna waste your time. But still, go visit them, it's cool. Third question is the best one for an Italian. What's my favorite food? My favorite food is pasta, for sure. Pasta and meat, that's my two things. My favorite pasta, as I said in the Q&A, is pasta and patate provola, which is pasta with potatoes and provola that goes with a bit like a big sauce. It's almost like a minestra. It's almost like, well, how to describe it? It's like uncomposed lasagna, not really, but you can imagine that. I love to cook. I always love to have a beautiful series about cooking and watches, but my friends Dylan and Lara made their podcast before, and well, kudos to them. They're gonna stick to that format. I'm gonna stick to not using that format. Not a promise, but I'll do my best. And I gotta say, this is it. Or a beautiful, beautiful Fiorentina steak. My favorite food of them all, here in Milan at Ribot, with a chunky salt. I'm hungry now. Guys, don't watch this video if you're not hungry. And by the way, food is my favorite thing to like watch videos about. Like, I only watch food videos. For all of my fellows shooting watch videos, competitors, friends, whatever, I'm not gonna watch your video because I will start your video, but I will bump on a video from another guy cooking. I'm gonna look at that. Cooking is better than watches. We don't know, we stick to watches. What to wear at the gym? Well, first of all, you gotta go to the gym, which is a huge thing for me. Second of all, I am against wearing watches at the gym, honestly. It feels douche. It feels really douche, honestly. Like, why are you wearing a Submariner at the gym? To hit on girls. Yeah, to hit on girls. That's the only way. And honestly, your body is gonna hit on girls more than your watch. So you'll end up talking about watches to dudes, which, if it's not your type, I strongly don't suggest, because the upside of it is girls won't look at your watch. The downside is boys will. Maybe they're gonna steal your watch. Maybe you're gonna break your watch. So the best watch to wear at the gym is no watch, Apple Watch, Fitbit, or whatever they invented nowadays. I have no clue and I don't want to know. Fifth question. The Tudor that I would buy today and the Tudor that I would love for a future release. Very tough. I've always said that a Pelagos 39 in blue would be my choice because of two main reasons. Titanium, blue, but not a super polite blue, very strong blue, and ceramic blue. Blue ceramic, better. Nevertheless, fantastic. It's what is lacking. in my opinion, in Rolex. So a blue Submariner, as does Murph, but in steel, or even better, titanium. So that would be my absolute choice in 39 for sure. As much as I like that, I would love a similar blue to that one, maybe a little bit less flashy, but not a super British blue. Blue, not like this, but not even like my fantastic personalized water bottle. A blue that is in between, a blue that has character but not flashy, on a Black Bay 54, as the Blue Lagoon is more towards this vibe, which comes from Saint-Tropez, so not really the most city vibe, office vibe, whatever. But I still think that the Pelagos 39 in blue would be a great choice. Yes, please Tudor, hear me out. Please do it. Titanium, price point, blue ceramic, what's more to do? Also the chrono, maybe in a smaller size. Question number 6. I got sent a photo of a beautiful basculante from Cartier with a black dial and not so beautiful, in my opinion, Arabic numerals. First and foremost, Arabic numerals on Cartier, risky business. Risky business. Why? On Pasha, flawless. On basculante, not so sure. On other watches, especially all the tank-shaped watches, weird. In my opinion, I'm not saying they're bad, I'm not saying they're ugly, I'm not saying I hate them, but we can do better. I prefer the Roman numerals. So, black basculante is really cool. Basculante whatsoever is really cool, but not for me. I would love a beautiful basculante, black dial with Roman purpurina, you know, this little glitter in gold powder, rose, gold powder, black dial, rose gold case, Milanese bracelet, chica. Think about the Reverso they unveiled this year. Make it basculante. That's my point of view. No vintage options, 5K budget. What do I buy? Only new. Only manufacturer movement. Second time I have to mention the podcast, unpopular opinion. Stating manufacturer movement is too old school to be true. I think we should all talk about in-house movement nowadays, because everyone has used manufacturer movement just to, you know, saying the movement was made in a manufacturer, not their manufacturer. Every company producing watch movements is a manufacturer. This watch that I love, don't get me wrong, the Millésime by Raymond Weil, beautiful watch, but Sellita movement. They claim it's Sellita movement. What if they said it was a manufacturer movement? Would have been wrong? No, Sellita is a manufacturer. So, in-house, not in-house. Since someone Italian asked me about this, let's say in-house movement. In-house, 5K new. The only answer we can have is Nomos. Nomos is the way. Imagine you can spend 4K just by buying the new Wertheimer, manufacturer movement, beautiful, amazing design, the least Teutonic design they have made in their history, the most vibrant, European, colorful, disruptive, and beautiful design they've made so far, in my opinion, and it's 4K, and it's in-house, and it's new, and it's, what can I say? Nomos killed the best value for money in-house movement of 2025. Let's raise the flag. This is done. Very interesting. Micro brands versus entry-level Swiss watches. Do you think some established brands will struggle soon? Two main comments on it. We're not only talking micro brands versus entry level, but sometimes we're talking micro brands versus everyone. Second of all, not only established brands, but also entry-level Swiss brands. Everyone here around. If you take a brand that belongs to a group, so a financial group, they have to stick to a specific margin structure, first of all. Second of all, the people leading the brand are, well, guided, restrained as well by the investors, by the shareholders who want money. That's what they want. They don't want future of the company. They want to cash out. Sometimes they're intelligent and so they want to resell the company in the next blah 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 years, but not most of the times. They want to cash out. They want to have a cash cow bringing them money for what they invested. So that's also very interesting and very dangerous. Plus, entry-level Swiss-made watches, if you take Longines, if you take Tissot, Rado, these brands, maybe Rado not, but Tissot, Tag Heuer, you know, they're kind of in a vault somehow. Why? Micro brands are proposing novelty, creativity, better storytelling, better image, better communication, better reputation, not in terms of brand awareness, but in terms of the fact that we have a founder who can talk to the crowd, who can talk to the press, who can have interviews, who can create a personal branding and communicate to you his vision, his company. And you automatically think that this guy put his money in these watches I'm buying. So you trust the guy. You believe in his company and not just his vision, product, whatever. You believe in the guy. Think about, for example, at Furlan Marri. You want to have Andrea Furlan. You want to have Ahmad Al-Marri. Baltic is Etienne Malek and other people for sure, but you know Etienne exists. You talk to Etienne and you're fascinated by Etienne. Think about Nevada, Guillaume Ledet. Again, all these brands have a good price point, great creativity, good storytelling, reliable things, reliable watches, all for a fraction of the price, even of the entry-level Swiss-made watches. What I think is not going to struggle is maybe Longines and this kind of brands. Why? Because Longines, dude, Longines is this big. I think of Longines, I think of grandeur, I think of the great Longines, the great history, the great company, Saint-Imier, the whole town of Saint-Imier, the big manufacturer. Big, small price point. Big brand, small price point, that could work. But if you're going up, big or not that big brand, average price point, to me it's killed. A lot of brands might struggle from that. So that's very tough. Good examples of entry-level brands that are rising up, even versus micro brands, are Frédéric Costa. We can say as well maybe Baume & Mercier, but already in a tough price point. Tag Heuer with some new novelties such as the F1. Tissot with the Pierre Axe and stuff. Maybe Rado with the Captain Cook and stuff. This was the most interesting question you asked me so far. If Cartier called you to revive one reference from the past, which one would you choose and why? I think Cartier is doing a great job reviving the Collection Privée Cartier Paris lately. So they revived the Asymétrique, the Cloche, the Crash, the Tortue, the Pebble, the Cintré. Well, nevertheless, they're doing a great job. What's interesting here is that it's a cool strategy because they have so much patrimony, so much heritage to, you know, bring back that they have it for years and years and years, yet they haven't revived some key watches. I want to answer that I would definitely bring back the Basculante. Why? Because the Basculante is, well, the watch that's missing, the watch that is known to public. It's requested by public. There are people buying the watch in the secondary market, yet we don't have a final version by Cartier sold nowadays so far. So this would be the smart and bold choice. And as I said in the question before, you can play with the bracelet, you can play with the dial, you can play with the movement showcased or not. You can play with maybe creating a automatic one and whatever. I would love to see complications on this watch, such as the chronograph, such as a weird minute repeater done in some ways I have no clue about, or something like this, but this would be the good commercial watch to bring back. There are many other watches to bring back. Tank Obus, the dice, the beak, like the Eagle beak, Cartier Tank, which is like a chinoise, but not really. The Baignoire Allongé, the Maxi Oval. You have so many. The Sheikh, too many. What's the problem here? if you, for example, do a new version of the dice, which is 4 pieces ever made, you're gonna jeopardize the value of the dice. And not just the monetary value, maybe this will go up for a bit, but you're gonna jeopardize the rarity of the watch, the fact that it's special. Take the Sheikh, not more than 6 watches ever produced. What's the point of making a new one? Either Cartier goes back to the Paris-Dakar and they sponsor it again, and they make a complete new watch out of it, and they give the watch, and the story goes on. But whatever else would be like the Crash. How many Crash we have around? I was a big fan of the Crash. Now, would I buy one? Maybe. Would I buy it for passion? Not really. New one I'm talking. Would I buy it because I feel cool? It's a wildly good watch, and I would have a check of 200,000 euros in my hand? Yes, that's why. I'm honest with you. I have to be honest. It's my passion and it's my duty for you all to be clear with you. So, again, Cartier, I would bring back a lot of these things. Maybe I would do like unique pieces for selected client, selected client, not watch dealers, selected client. Like Jeff Bezos asked me about a Sheikh. Yeah, let's make a Sheikh for Jeff Bezos, but Jeff Bezos, okay? Or the guy from Meta, Zuckerberg, whatever his name is. Hello, I'd love to interview you. Nevertheless, that's my choice. And for the last question, new day date or vintage day date? Well, if you ask me about a watch that is produced nowadays in a very similar aesthetic, with a very similar concept and mechanic to the one we had back in the days, and I could get the vintage one for a fraction of the price, and I would answer you all to buy the new one, I would be easy as that. And I hope I'm not. So, jokes aside, buy a modern day date if you like it. The olive green dial is fantastic. Some Genset pieces are fantastic. If there is a new day date that never existed before, go buy that one for sure. Because the new day date is a great watch. It's a hell of a watch, but price of gold went up. The movement is better. The water resistance is better. The bracelet is better. The watch is better than the one from the 70s, 80s, 90s. It is. It's a better watch. Yet, a watch from the 90s or 80s is still an icon. If you don't care about reliability, but you care about the iconicity of the watch, go buy the vintage one. If you want a watch that ages with you, if you want a watch that's super reliable, if you want a watch that is made today with today's laws, with today's quality, with today's technology, 100%, I'm not joking, go buy the new one, and you should do it. I would love to have an olive green modern day date. I would love to have some of the gem set they do today. I would love to have some of the stone dials they do today, because they're absolutely marvelous. If you want a champagne dial on a gold case, yellow gold with yellow gold bracelet, that's tough, huh? With that said, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A session. I'm here in the studio to say thank you to everyone for following along, for commenting down the video. If you're not commenting, you're not a true watch guy. This is called emotional blackmail, but this is also calling you out for engagement. Comment down, follow me here on YouTube, follow me on every other social media, and see you very soon. And I will talk to you about this baby right here very soon. So whatever, subscribe, leave a comment, follow whatever I do. Never stop dreaming.